Not everyone out there is going to agree with me, but you know what? That's life. People don't agree with me all the time. But just hear me out for a moment, okay? And by the way, are you new to my channel? Well, I'm Nas. Take a moment to please subscribe if you enjoyed this video. If you don't, it's fine. And for those of you who are returning, well, it's great to have you back. So I said that I'm going to talk about something and maybe you won't agree with me. Okay. But native English speakers aren't better than you. Absolutely not. They're not more intelligent than you. But I do believe that they have this trick, this strategy that works. It's not something that we have consciously done. I think it's something that we've developed over time. Now, maybe, just maybe, it's something that you do in your native language. Now, think about this. Do you speak in words or do you speak in phrases? When you tell stories, are you sitting there thinking of individual words and then a sentence? How do I create the grammar, or does it just flow? It flows, right? And do you know why it flows? Well, I think it flows because you are speaking in phrases as opposed to individual words. Because this is something that I've noticed, and it's kind of dumb, stupid, frustrating, all those things, because I've kind of struggled to learn Italian. And even though I have like 13 years of experience teaching a language, I approached Italian in a very relaxed, disorganized way. Okay. So I thought I would just memorize wordless. That's great. So I know that chiesa is a church. Wonderful, wonderful. Ask me to put that into a sentence, and then we get absolute silence for 3 minutes while the person waiting for me to talk is sitting there like going like, can you just say something? And I don't know what to say because I don't know what to do with this word, chiesa. What do I say? What do I want to say? What grammar can I use? Oh, this is so difficult. And then I freeze and I go to um, my lazy phrase, which is, I don't speak Italian. Okay, so the first phrase that I want to dive into today is for a laugh. For a laugh, when you do something just as a joke, just for fun, okay? For a laugh. For a laugh, we entered a talent show pretending to be twins. For a laugh. Can you think of something that you've done for a laugh recently? And oh, I should have mentioned this at the beginning. I really wish I were more organized sometimes, but there is a free downloadable PDF so you can follow along, especially when we do the shadowing segment, which, you know what? I think we should do it right now. So, for a laugh. For a laugh, we entered a music talent show, even though we can't sing. For a laugh, we entered a music talent show, even though we can't sing. For a laugh, I told my parents I was quitting my job to become a magician. For a laugh, I told my parents I was quitting my job to become a magician. For a laugh, we added hot sauce to the birthday cake. For a laugh, we added hot sauce to the birthday cake. For a laugh, they tried karaoke in a language they don't speak. For a laugh, they tried karaoke in a language they don't speak. For a laugh, I started a fake fashion blog. For a laugh, I started a fake fashion blog. Now, if you don't have the PDF yet, I really do suggest that you click on the link in the description, get it, pause the video, follow along. There's also a link for our free weekly newsletter. It's packed with great stuff. Okay. Phrase number 2, if you're ready. Out of the blue. Out of the blue. And we use this when something happens unexpectedly, suddenly, unexpectedly, out of the blue. Out of the blue, she messaged me after 3 years of silence. And I'm thinking, what does she want, right? Out of the blue. Oh, out of the blue, my boss offered me a transfer to Singapore. Out of the blue, my boss offered me a transfer to Singapore. Out of the blue, it started hailing in the middle of summer. Out of the blue, it started hailing in the middle of summer. And this has actually happened in Antalya, where I live. Hailing, like the ice. Yeah. It's very unusual in summer. Out of the blue, I got invited to speak at a conference. That's great. Out of the blue, I got invited to speak at a conference. See, I wasn't expecting it. Uh-oh, out of the blue, he proposed during lunch at a food truck. Out of the blue, he proposed during lunch at a food truck. I wasn't expecting that, right? I was expecting, I don't know, the restaurant at the top of the Eiffel Tower with a big Tiffany engagement ring. I'm just kidding. Out of the blue. To make matters worse, when a bad situation becomes even worse, so think of it as like stacking your problems, right? Stacking all your problems. Okay, so to make matters worse, well, my phone died. To make matters worse, I had no charger. So my phone died, and to make matters worse, I had no charger. The hotel lost my reservation. Well, to make matters worse, there were no rooms available, so I couldn't even get a room. I left my passport on the plane. Obviously, the plane then left. To make matters worse, my embassy was closed, so I couldn't get a temporary passport. Can you see how I'm stacking my problems? Okay. It started raining. To make matters worse, I'd left my umbrella at home. Okay, so it's bad enough that it starts to rain, maybe during a picnic or something. And then to make matters worse, you don't even have an umbrella. So I was in Rome. It was really, really hot. July, crowded, lots and lots of tourists. If you've ever been, you know what I'm talking about, right? And developed a migraine from the heat, from the crowds, from the noise. And I had this migraine and it was really killing me. And I didn't have any medication on me. And to make matters worse, all the pharmacies were closed. Can you see how I'm stacking my problems in my story? So to make matters worse, okay? So instead of saying, I had a migraine and the pharmacy was closed, I had a migraine. To make matters worse, the pharmacy was closed, okay? If you're ready, we can move on to number 4. Okay, looking back on it now, this is for reflection. Okay, when you reflect on a past experience. Okay, so looking back on it now. Uh, Looking back on it now, I'm glad that relationship didn't work out. I'm glad that relationship didn't work out. Looking back on it now, I'm glad it didn't work out. Looking back on it now, it taught me more than I realized at the time. You know, when bad things happen, it's just bad. But when we look back on it, then we realize that, wait, it taught me something. I don't believe that there are good things in life or bad things in life. There are just things. And some things that happen just teach you more than others, right? So looking back on it now, it taught me more than I realized at the time. Looking back on it now, we were totally overreacting. So maybe you and your partner got into a fight, got into an argument about something. Looking back on it now, you realize, we were totally overreacting. Looking back on it now, it was one of the best decisions I have ever made. Looking back on it now, it was one of the best decisions I have ever made. And I'd like you to pause for a moment and to internalize this and also to connect it and link it to your world and your life, because this video is not about me, it's about you. So can you think of a situation where you look back on it now and you think, wow, that was one of the best decisions I have ever made. So when it comes to that idea of looking back on it now, when I left South Africa for China at the time, I mean, I wasn't thrilled leaving family and friends and everyone behind, everything that was familiar to me. But looking back on it now, it was one of the best decisions I have ever made, because to be honest, I wouldn't have developed my career to this extent living in a native English speaking country, right? Or in an English speaking country just surrounded by native speakers. by interacting with different cultures, I've learned so much, so much. So looking back on it now, it was one of the best decisions I have ever made. At the time, I wasn't thrilled, but now when I look back on it, good move, Nas, good move. Looking back on it now, I can laugh, but it was stressful in the moment. So maybe something happened, and in the moment, it was stressful. Oh, maybe you were. There's a nice idiom on our channel for one of our other videos. I was tearing my hair out, yeah, but now I can laugh about it. I get a kick out of. So instead of saying I like, I enjoy, those are nice, right? But I get a kick out of, it adds some personality to your speaking, your English speaking. It adds something to your English personality. So what do you get a kick out of? I get a kick out of people watching. I really do. I also get a kick out of watching people parallel park. Some people do it well, some people not so well, some people it's crash and bang. So I also get a kick out of guessing the endings of movies, especially those detective kind of things. I'm like, he did it, she did it. I get a kick out of guessing. I also get a kick out of teaching English, teaching idioms, making videos for my YouTube channel, whether anyone watches it or not. I get a kick out of doing it. And I get a kick out of watching people react to different accents. It's very interesting. It's very entertaining when people listen to different accents and they're like, is that English? I get a kick out of watching people's reactions. So, like I said, I get a kick out of people watching. Number 6 on the list today is a waste of time. So, a waste of time is used to express something that's unproductive, right? Pointless, a waste of time. So think about it, scrolling through social media is a waste of time, especially if you don't have a purpose. Scrolling through social media without a purpose is a waste of time. I try to curate my feed so that if I'm watching my Instagram feed, if I'm scrolling, it's not a waste of time. It's valuable content for me, either as a creator or someone who just wants to get better in life every single day. What else is a waste of time? Arguing with strangers online, fighting with people on Facebook in the comments. Come on, guys. It's a waste of time. And waiting in line for a trendy new drink. I think people were doing it for that prime drink in the past and then for the Dubai chocolate. Waiting in line. It's a waste of time. I think people are doing it with that new doll, Labulu. Oh gosh, I'm getting this all wrong. Someone please correct me in the comments. For me, it's a waste of time. For some people, it might not be a waste of time. Oh, this one I 100% agree with. Rewatching old shows is a waste of time. I feel like I watched it and I knew what happened, so why am I watching it again? It's a waste of time, except except for Titanic, I can watch that over and over again, and each time I expect a different ending, which is totally ridiculous, right? Because Jack is going to die. Oh, spoiler alert. Sorry if you haven't watched it. But watching movies over and over again, it's a waste of time, except Titanic. For me, rereading a book is a waste of time. There's so much to read out there that I just want to move on. And hey, maybe you'll agree with this. And if you do, hit that like button. But if you've already hit the like button, please don't do it again. Just comment and let me know whether you agree with this one. Learning grammar rules I'll never use in life is an absolute waste of time. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Which is why we're doing this video, because we want to focus on you speaking in phrases, not in single words like I do in Italian, which is why I'm stuck at A2. And I probably will be stuck at A2 for a very long time unless I adopt this strategy, which I'm going to do. I'll let you know how it's going. Now, just when I thought it couldn't get any worse, and here again, we are stacking our problems, but we are going to use this phrase when we want to build dramatic effect and when we want some kind of tension, but in a funny way, right? Humorous tension. So, just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, my card was declined at the checkout. Or just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, the power went out during my job interview. Just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, my suitcase exploded at the airport. Don't know why. Why do you think a suitcase would explode? Let me know in the comments. Oh, just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, a bird flew into the room and pooped on my keyboard. Speaking of which, for some strange reason, a bird was trying to get into my apartment the other day, and it wasn't a case of through the window or hitting onto the glass of the window, hitting onto the shutters, which were closed. So that was kind of weird. Okay. One more for just when I thought things couldn't get any worse. The fire alarm went off in the middle of my job interview. Like I already had that job interview. First there was a power outage, and now the fire alarm went off just when I thought things couldn't get any worse. Can you see how I'm adding drama? And you know what? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I sound a lot more interesting when I'm telling a story using these phrases. So once again, if you haven't downloaded the PDF, if you haven't subscribed to our weekly free lessons, just check it out in the link in the description. Click on it and you're going to get tons of amazing material. Number 8, 9, and 10 coming up. Number 8, the weirdest thing happened. The weirdest thing happened. So when I want to start a story that's funny, that's unusual, when I want to grab your attention, anyone's attention, not just here on the channel, okay, the weirdest thing happened. I bumped into my old teacher in a different country. The weirdest thing happened. Listen to the tone as well, okay? Because I can't say the weirdest thing happened. I bumped into my old teacher in a different country. It doesn't work. And we will be doing a video on tone, intonation, what to stress, what not to stress. So take a moment to subscribe so you don't miss out. So the weirdest thing happened. I bumped into my old teacher in a different country. The weirdest thing happened. My cat brought someone else's shoe home. The weirdest thing happened. Google Maps took me to a goat farm instead of the museum. The weirdest thing happened. Someone mistook me for a celebrity at the mall. I like that weird thing. I like that one. Do you? The weirdest thing happened. My friend started talking in her sleep in Italian. The weirdest thing happened. Can you think of something weird that happened this week? Something strange, and maybe you said it in a very simple way, but now I'd like you to join the conversation in the comments and say, the weirdest thing happened this week. What was it? And just see how your story has some personality, some character, some vibe. People want to listen. Number 9 on the list. I couldn't believe my eyes. I couldn't believe my eyes. You see something shocking, surprising. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw the Louis Vuitton bag on sale. Ooh, that's a nice one. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw my quietest student in the group class get up and sing karaoke. I couldn't believe my eyes. I couldn't believe my eyes. Please take a moment to pay attention to the tone because I do think this is important, okay? I couldn't believe my eyes when the very shy, quiet guy at work who never says anything stood up to our boss who is really, really mean. Okay, he confronted him, it took him on, he stood up to him. That's a lovely phrasal verb, by the way, when you stand up to someone, okay, especially a bully. I couldn't believe my eyes. I couldn't believe my eyes when my luggage arrived first at the baggage claim. Now, look what I did with that. I said I couldn't believe my eyes, and then I repeated it for emphasis. And this is what native English speakers do. I couldn't believe my eyes. I mean, I couldn't believe my eyes when my luggage arrived first at the baggage claim. And if you're thinking this is impossible, no, it's not. Just keep following me, keep shadowing me, and eventually you'll start sounding like me. I'm not sure if that's a good thing, but you will start to sound like native English speakers, not C2 vocabulary speakers, but native English speakers. Another one, I couldn't believe my eyes when they gave me a free upgrade to first class. Ooh, that's a nice one. I couldn't believe my eyes when I looked at my boarding pass and saw that they had given me a free upgrade to first class. I couldn't believe my eyes when it actually snowed in April, especially in Antalya, right? Because by April, we're already hitting the 30s. Number 10, the last one on our list, is if I could do it over. If I could do it over. And this is for hypothetical reflection, regret, when we look at the past and we think, if I could do it over. If I could do it over, I definitely double check the hotel dates. So obviously, I didn't check the hotel dates. I arrived there, it was the wrong date. And you know what? This relates to me and my recent trip to Vienna. I arrived on the Saturday and everything was closed. It was Saturday evening. Sunday, everything was closed because in Vienna, everything is closed. Very unusual. Okay. But then on Monday, I decided to hit the famous shopping street. So in Italy, in Milan, they have Monte Napoleone. And in Vienna, they have Ringstrasse with all the big names. Okay. So I thought I would indulge. Why not? And everything was closed because it was a public holiday. So basically, 2.5 days in Vienna and zero shopping. So if I could do it over, I definitely double check the dates, the holiday dates, and I wouldn't go to a fabulous European city where they have great shopping when everything's closed. So if I could do it over, regret, absolutely. And it's kind of hypothetical reflection because I can't do it over. But if I could do it over, this is what I would do. And if I could do it over, I wouldn't have said yes so quickly. So maybe I said yes to something far too quickly and now I regret it. I shouldn't have. And if I could do it over, I'd take more photos and fewer videos. Or maybe if I could do it over, I wouldn't take any photos or any videos. I would just live in the moment. I think that's something we all tend to do nowadays. Everything that we see, it's the content for social media, right? If I could do it over for some moments in life, I would put my phone away and just be in the moment. And maybe there was a time when, you know, there was a situation and you spent a lot of time overthinking, overthinking about it. And if you could do it over, well, if I could do it over, I would just trust my instincts. I would just trust my instincts because maybe your instincts were screaming, this person is bad for you. This relationship is bad for you. There are so many red flags and you did not trust your instincts. And of course, it ended up as a complete train wreck, right? So if I could do it over, I would trust my instincts. If I could do it over, I would trust my instincts. So instead of saying that was a bad relationship, I didn't trust myself, I should have trusted myself. Look at how I'm going to reframe it. If I could do it over, I would trust my instincts. It sounds so much better, doesn't it? Okay. And if I could do it over, I'd enjoy the moment. I'd enjoy the moment instead of rushing around. So this is often true when there are functions, like weddings or even on vacation. So my recent trip to Vienna and Prague, It was 5 days in total, but of course, you have to factor in travel time. Even though the flights are about 2.5 to 3 hours, you have to be at the airport 3 hours before basically half the day is gone, right? And I spent pretty much 1 day on the train between the two cities. And it was crazy, it was hectic, it was fun, it was amazing, and it was 95,000 steps. And it was intense. And if I could do it over, I'd slow it all down. I'd enjoy the moment. I wouldn't rush around as much. And if I could do it over, I'd stay longer. So I hope this video has shown you that you don't need to speak like a textbook, like a C2 vocabulary list in order to sound like a native English speaker or in order to be fluent and confident. And you don't need to tell perfect stories. You just need the right rhythm, the kind that makes people lean in and listen to you. And these phrases that I've given you today, and it's all in the free downloadable PDF. Click on the link in the description or in the first pinned comment. And these phrases give you that. They give you the rhythm, they give you the fluency. And you know what? The more you speak, the better it gets. So if this video helped you, please do take a moment to comment and let me know what you enjoyed about it. And if it didn't resonate with you, I'd love to know why not. Is it something related to level? Or are you just somebody who would prefer more videos on idioms or phrasal verbs? Well, do let me know in the comments. But if you found this helpful, maybe you'd like to share it with a friend. Now, on that note, I'm going to leave you to go out into the world and practice these phrases. I'm Nas, and it is ciao for now.